Get over here!
Good evening, ladies and gents. So, back with another Conquerors Blade video, and this time around we're going to be looking at some unit changes which may be coming into our version of the game, because we have been, or I have been sent some what looks like patch notes from the Frontier version of the game, from the booming side of the game. Most stuff usually does cross over into our side of the game, however not always exactly what the booming version of the game has. So take all the rest of this video with a pinch of salt. We may be getting this, we may not be. Chances are, I would say probably 95% we are going to be getting this. So the title of the video is obviously the Shield Maidens are going bye-bye. They are farewell, fair maiden, because unfortunately they are going to be getting a very heavy nerf, and so much so that I think this may actually make them unplayable, which is going to be a real shame, because when they first released, I think it was in season 7 when they first came out, they were unplayable then. We've had a couple of seasons where they've actually been playable, but now it looks like they may be crossing over into the realms of unplayable again. It's a really big shame if this does actually happen. So, as a defensive shield unit, the Shield Maidens' attacks while in shield formation are too powerful. The reason for this is the Cover Commander trait they have for their shields up enables them to dish out high damage while taking little damage for an extended period of time. All in all, this comes at little cost and is difficult to counter. So the change is, when switching to shield while in Cover Commander state, they no longer permanently retain the mobility method and effect of Cover Commander. When switching to shield while in the Cover Commander state, they retain the mobility and effect of Cover Commander for 2.5 seconds, whereupon they will remain by the hero's side and follow his movements, and their attack rate will be identical to when free attack, and their attacks no longer block. So we've had me and a few housemates have had a proper look at this, and we've gone through it and kind of figured out that actually what we think they mean by shield is actually sword. So when switching to sword while in Cover Commander state, they no longer permanently retain the mobility method and effect of Cover Commander. Obviously their attack rate is going to go down substantially. It looks like it's only going to be possibly affecting the sword. So it will be interesting to see if this actually hits the spear side of things. However, the spear already is a little bit lackluster, so that might be why they're only looking at changing up the sword for the Shield Maidens. It's going to be a real big shame if they... I can see this kind of killing the Maidens, possibly, or you're going to have to really micromanage them to really get the most out of them, because you've only got 2.5 seconds where they actually keep the mobility and effect of Cover Commander. It might be enough to keep the user, or keep the unit usable, but I am not holding out much hope, unfortunately. I've got no date of when this is meant to happen. I've got no date of when this is meant to come in, but it's going to be a real big shame if this does come in. If I had to guess, I would expect this is going to be coming in either this week or next week, because that is kind of how close to the patch day that they actually released the notes and everything. So there's a couple other changes as well. Obviously, I'm going to be flashing all this up on screen if you have had me on in the background, so you can read it all yourself. Varangian Guards. The fact that the Varangian Guards remain in axe form for a short period of time and their incredible burst damage makes it difficult to gauge when they'll strike, making them difficult to defend against. This also makes it possible for them to easily dish out high damage while keeping away from the enemy during their time of weakness. Changes. While Raging Onslaught is active, all skills share a cooldown of 3 seconds, during which the Varangian Guards will attack freely with their axes. Not so much of a nerf in comparison to the Shield Maidens, however a nerf definitely, I would say, because now we actually have to wait a certain amount of time before we can unleash their next skill. You already had to wait about a second or two anyway to get the full effect of it. 3 seconds... Okay, I can see them putting out another axe or 2 strikes in that time. It may just be enough to keep the unit kind of usable. It may not be, again, until we actually try it and play it and see how it kind of works, and we don't really get a good understanding of changes. It's really difficult to get a real good grasp of unit changes before we actually get a chance to play them. The Murmilons. Murmilons will attack surrounding enemies when arriving at the target destination of skill Murmilon's Guard. They will take over that area after sending the enemies flying. So a bit of a buff for the Murmilons there. Little couple of changes now to Sword of Shield. Shielded Charge. Charges forward while defending against frontal attacks. Yeah, I thought it did that anyway. Longsword and Shield. Clash of Shields. Charges forward while defending against frontal attacks. So exactly the same. So the above changes will take effect with the update on December the 15th, apparently. So yeah, I was right. I believe they will be coming in on Thursday. Again, this is the booming side of game things. This is not the My Games version side of things. However, our patches and our changes and our unit balancing usually reflects very, very, very closely to what the booming side of games has done. So expect all of these changes to come in. It'll be nice to see this kind of information in a little bit better kind of English. Obviously, I totally understand boom games like the Asian kind of server side of the English isn't going to be great. But it's going to be interesting to see actually if these changes do come in for us on the 15th on Thursday and see what kind of differences they make to these units. If you are playing the Shield Maidens, get the most out of them in the next couple of days because they may become unusable after that. Thank you very much for watching though, folks. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed this little glimpse into what we may be getting. If you ever do come across any information from the booming side of things for the game or My Games version side of things that I have just totally missed, please always hit me up on the Discord, send it over to me. I'm always interested and intrigued to find out information before it is officially announced, so I can do videos like this and publish them out and let you know as well, so it's not such a shock when we do actually get stuff. Thank you very much for watching though, folks. Hit that like button, hit that share button, all that lovely fan-dooby-tastic stuff, and I hope to catch you out on the battlefield.